As Bob said, I just started a new job this week. So
Congratulations.
if you have any questions about Constant Contact, I'm here, but I do not work there anymore. So I'm going to start out by talking about selling on social media. So a big thing with social media is constantly trying to prove ROI. I mean, for those of us who have worked under a manager and you're the social media representative, that's constantly what they're asking you is, how are we getting any return on this investment? So, typically with social media in the past, it's been that you use it for relationship building. You use it for things that you can't necessarily measure. It's, to build connections, to build a network, to get your brand out there. But now they have a new option where you can actually sell your items on Instagram and Pinterest. So I believe that Pinterest did it first, Instagram followed suit very close after. But now you can see that Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, you can run an Instagram ad. You do have to pay for these. But you have to do that through the Facebook Ad Manager. What happens is you upload a picture, or you can upload several pictures that will play as a carousel, and you have a button, and it'll say Shop Now, it can say Learn More, Donate, etc. So this way it can be used by any type of business. I mean, typically you see them with fashion industries the most, because it's the easiest thing to sell. Same with Pinterest. Now we have a new option on Pinterest where you can actually add a button to your pin that will say Buy, and it'll have a price. So this way, I mean, when I first started using Pinterest, I don't know, probably like 4 years ago, I wasn't super into it because I would find all these things that I really liked, and then I would think, well, I'm never going to find that online. Like, I could see a picture of a table and be, well, where do I buy it? Or, you know what I mean? So now it's a lot easier that if I find something, I can buy it right within that pin. So if you click the button, you just fill out your information. It doesn't even bring you off of Pinterest. It's super easy, and it's a great way for your business to actually sell things because it's so easy for the consumer, why wouldn't they? Next, I'm going to talk about customer service and social media. So if you have social media platforms for your business and you're not using them for customer support, you are losing out. So 67% of consumers actually use social media for customer service. I told the story this last time they presented this about how I once got a meal from Chili's and I picked it up and they had given me the wrong food, and it was kind of a humorous mistake because I had ordered the adult-sized Southwestern mac and cheese, and I was given a children's-sized Kraft mac and cheese. I was like, this isn't what I ordered. So instead of calling the restaurant like a typical adult would, I tweeted about it, and I tagged Chili's, and I said, this isn't what I ordered, and it was more of a joke. I didn't really care. I just thought it was funny. They actually responded almost immediately and asked for my email address and then sent me coupons. That's perfect customer service. That's what anyone could ever expect. So if you're not using customer service on social media, you're missing out with that wow factor. And especially if 67% of people are actually using it, so why wouldn't you?
Ashley, did that invoke some kind of reciprocity factor? Did you retweet back, hey, I just got my coupons
Yep,
from Chili's?
Of course.
Yeah.
Also, 33% of customers prefer to contact brands on social media rather than on the phone. I don't want to be your typical millennial, but I hate phone calls. I typically don't really like to talk on the phone. If someone calls me, I text them back and I'm like, what did you call it for? So when it comes to customer service, I'm definitely not going to be calling anyone to have a complaint or even it's not even just complaints, it's good things. I've gone on social media many times and been like, I had a great experience at this restaurant, or look at this awesome shirt that I picked up at this store. So it's just good thing to keep in mind that your customers, if you have a retail business or something like that, your customers want you to be able to communicate with them on social. Also, this is huge. $41 billion are lost by U.S. companies every year because of poor customer service. This is a lot of money for something that is very easily fixed. Customer service, I mean, it takes time and it does take effort, but when it comes to something like social media, it's something that you can monitor 24/7 and it's very easy. Next, Twitter chats. Have any of you participated in a Twitter chat? Yes? Yes? Just, for curiosity, which ones were they? Do you remember?
I usually do print chat every week.
Sweet. Same. Awesome. So Twitter chats are fairly new, and I am absolutely loving them. They're basically just gatherings of people on Twitter, and they're at a specified time, a specified date. So typically the one that I take part in the most is Thursdays at 9 p.m. And what happens is everyone comes together, and the Twitter account that is hosting the chat will tweet out questions, and they will say Q1 and a question. You respond to that question by tweeting A1 with your answer, and then the hashtag for the chat. So here's some of the ones that I like the most, just so you can get an idea. Viral chat is the one that I was just saying about Thursday nights. It's great. So these are all mainly about social media. That one sometimes goes off of social media a little bit, but these ones are all about social media. Pam Moore, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pam Moore, she's very influential in the social media space. She does a chat, actually, she just moved it to 2 p.m. on Tuesdays, so I don't get to do it as much as I would like. But she just talks about like up-and-coming topics. It's basically something like this, but on Twitter, where people just come together and they talk about what's new and how can we take advantage of it and things like that. So it's really fun.
So what happens after you send in your answer?
Yep, so you send in you tweet your answer, and then people will respond. It'll start a conversation. If someone likes your answer, they'll retweet it, they'll favorite it, they'll respond. And then typically, I know that Pam Moores does this, and I believe Postpointer does it as well. At the end of the chat, they will gather all of the answers together and either write a blog post about it or a slide share, something that brings all of the answers into one spot so you can see them. They also tend to tweet out statistics about it, which are always incredible. There have been some chats that I've been part of, and they tweet out like the stats about how many users took part in it, and it's insane to think like 200-something people could just come together on Twitter for an hour and answer questions and talk to each other. It's really fun, and this is one of the best ways that I've found to build my network. I did not have a ton of Twitter followers before I started doing these. I had maybe 300 when I first started my professional Twitter account, and by doing Twitter chats, I'm up to I think 1,200 now. So it's a great way to build a network because you know that you're speaking with people that are like-minded. They're typically in the same industry as you. They like the same things, so it's a lot easier to build a network. So next I will talk about Snapchat, which is always interesting to get an idea of who has used it. So who in this room uses Snapchat? Awesome. All right, now keep your hand up if you use it for business. Exactly. Okay, so that's typically the answer I see. So for those of you who don't know, Snapchat is a mobile messaging application. You can send pictures and videos, and you can actually chat with people as well. It became notorious in the beginning because it was known for inappropriate reasons. It is so far beyond that at this point. I never took part, but it was never, to me, it was never thought of for businesses. People never looked at Snapchat and they're like, oh, my business could be on that. It was always just fun. Typically when I use it, I'm just sending stupid, embarrassing selfies to my friends because they disappear in 10 seconds and I know that they can't do anything with them. So the fact that brands are now, getting into it is very interesting to me. So they only last for a brief amount of time. However, Snapchat did introduce a feature, I believe it was last year or the year before, about, they're called stories. So basically you can send any snap, which is a photo or a video, to your story, and it will last for 24 hours. And then it'll disappear. Everything still disappears. And to me, that's fun because that means that, one, you can try things. Like if you post something on Twitter and it doesn't do well, like you might feel bad about it and you want to delete it, and it just takes a little bit of your self-esteem away when it comes to social media. When it comes to Snapchat, you do something wrong, it disappears 24 hours, or you can delete it before that. It's not a big deal. So only recently caught the attention of brands. I put Taco Bell here because they are the best on Snapchat. I don't know if you guys are following them, but they are hilarious. They have their social media team. It's like 4 people, and they'll do like little skits, and they'll do they do secret menu items. So they'll actually go to Taco Bell and give you a list of things that you should order, and it'll be like an item that isn't on the menu but that you can make yourself. It's pretty cool. So just a good example. So why is Snapchat important? In April of 2016, so just a few months ago, Snapchat was installed on 22.7% of US Android devices, and Twitter was only installed on 21.8%. In other words, Snapchat has taken over. It's now downloaded on more devices than Twitter is, and I wouldn't be surprised if that follows suit on Apple devices as well. Snapchat users watch 8+ billion videos a day. Now keep in mind these videos are a maximum of 10 seconds, so that does make it sound a little bit less exciting, but it's still a lot of content. 63% of Snapchat's users are 18 to 34 years old, so you have to keep in mind demographics. If your demographic isn't on this platform, then maybe it's not worth it for you, but it is something to check out for sure. So how are brands using Snapchat? I will tell you now, most of these examples are from when I was at Constant Contact, because when I was there, I actually headed up the effort to build a Snapchat account for the company. So one of the examples is coupons. So this is just a little snap that I drew. It has a little drawing feature. You have to draw with your finger, so it's kind of tough. So you guys should be impressed by this. But it's a skeleton, and then it says use code SNAPBOO for 20% off of your order. So it's just a way to give people that are following on Snapchat little insights that other people wouldn't get. Another example is, I don't know if any of you are fans of CBS's Big Brother, which starts tonight. Great show. Awesome show.
Yeah.
But they have a Snapchat account, and they actually revealed who the house guest would be a couple of days ago. They showed little clips, and those are things that no one else is seeing because the show hasn't started yet. So it's interesting to get like a little behind the scenes look of that.
Actually, before you go on.
Yep.
I don't follow the coupons. If it only lasts for 10 seconds or 20 seconds, and you're Snapchatting out a coupon, do you do like a screen save to save it?
Nope, so you would be sending this to your story, so this would last for 24 hours. The snap itself would be 10 seconds long,
Yeah.
but then when you send it to your story, anyone could watch that over and over again for 24 hours, and then it disappears. So that's, yeah.
Okay.
We do contests, so I don't know if you guys are aware of Grubhub. They're a food delivery company. They're awesome, but not available in my area of Massachusetts, so that's a bummer. But they were doing contests on Snapchat where they would say, "Let the hunt begin, snap us back a food doodle," and they would give you an example. So they basically were asking people to send them pictures of just a drawing of food, and then they would pick 10 random snaps, and they would give them a coupon for free food. It was awesome. They're also great on Twitter. They send gifts to like everyone. Before the GIF feature was even a thing, they would send you links to a GIF. So I know they're definitely using the GIF feature now.
Did they also send you links to GIFs?
No, they did not, because those don't exist. You could also use it to promote events. So this was one of the retail workshops we did at Constant Contact, where I posted a couple of videos before this snap, and I would say, we have a workshop coming up, here's what you'll learn in it, and then I included a customized bit.ly link so that people could go here and sign up. You could do behind the scenes content. This is my old manager, Dave. This was in the studio at Constant Contact where we were recording the last episode of our podcast. So this is, again, something that no one would ever see. And it's not necessarily something I would post on, say, Twitter or Facebook, but it's something it's so personal that it makes more sense to share it on Snapchat where people can see more into your company. You could also work in an email marketing company, made me give this answer for everything. Everything has to go back to your email list, in my opinion. If you're using social media, you're on rented land, you own your email list. So you always want to drive people back to your email list. So in this case, we talked about our Hints and Tips newsletter, which was sent out every other Wednesday. So this is my old coworker, Miranda. She was making the Hints and Tips newsletter. We showed a picture where it said putting together our Hints and Tips newsletter. The next snap was a video of Miranda holding her laptop, and she said, "Do you want to learn how to improve your open rates?" And then she turned the computer and she said, "Check out our Hints and Tips newsletter tomorrow." And then the last snap had a link to sign up for our newsletter, so it all tied together. Oh, there it is.
Is that a live link?
Nope, so you cannot click on that. And that's why you'll notice that here, this is our customized Constant Contact bit.ly, so it's not really helpful, but on the promote events one, that's why I did bit.ly/retail workshop, so it's something easy to remember. This was one of the first tests we did, so this is what we learned, was that not many people went to this link because it was very hard. You can't just memorize that link, you'd have to write it down. So that's definitely something to keep in mind too. You want to use either customized bit.ly links or links that are very easy to remember.
Actually, how do you build followers?
Ooh, I can go on. Oh, I thought you were talking about email lists. So I was like, oh, I can go on about that forever. So there's not actually like a native way to find people. So on Twitter, they have like the feature, I don't remember what it's, Discover, where you can find new followers very easily. Snapchat does not have that. So when it comes to Snapchat, everything is about cross promotion. They have these things called ghost codes, and they're little squares. They have the ghost icon, which is Snapchat's logo. And then, do you know QR codes? So it's basically that. They'll have the dots behind it, and then you can save it, and you can post it on Twitter, Facebook, etc. A lot of the marketing people that I follow on Twitter that are using Snapchat very, very actively actually set their profile pictures on Twitter to their Snap codes. So this way people can add them. It's pretty cool. And then, of course, not everything for social media has to necessarily have a point. It could just be fun and make people laugh. And like Bob said, that's something that I think more businesses need to do. We need to make people laugh and just not promote ourselves for once. So something that we did at Constant Contact was we were using our hashtag CCTTLife, which was a big thing for HR. This Snapchat video was actually really cool. I wish I could show it to you guys. It was a little skit that I put together of my friend Ashley and I at work, and she was sitting in a cube, and I kind of like popped up over the side of the cube, and you could see her typing, and she looked like she was like all stressed out. And then I took a picture behind her, and the screen said, "Need a break?" ? And then we walked around the office to all of like the fun things we had. So we had a ping pong table, a skee ball machine. There was a ton of fun stuff there. So we walked around and just took a bunch of videos of her like playing and stuff like that, and then wrote, "See how we stay motivated at CCTD Life." and this was just a video of me scrolling through our Twitter feed. This is actually hilarious. This is right after Christmas. I don't know if any of you were fans of The Office.
Yeah.
Great show. So the episode where Michael Scott makes the commercial, and he has the thing on there that says "World's Most Creative Boss." This is my old boss, Dave, and I made him that for Christmas. So these are the pictures that showed up on Twitter, which is pretty funny. And then, if you're ready to get started on Snapchat, you can check out my website. I have a couple of blog posts on there that will help you. There's a couple about learning how to set up a Snapchat account, learning how to build following, creative ideas for if you don't know how to get started, and even a new feature that I wish I actually talked about today, which is called on-demand geofilters. So, just a quick little overview. If you had Snapchat right now and you're walking around Bentley, when you take a picture, if you slide your finger across the screen, a Bentley University filter would pop up, and it's a little picture of the clock tower, and it says Bentley University. They're really fun, but they just opened it up a couple of months ago to anyone can make those. I made one for my birthday, and when I went home for my birthday, my family all made fun of me because I was like, wait, I have to open Snapchat, I have to see this filter, and it was a little cat, a little cartoon of a cat holding a balloon, and it said happy birthday on it. So it's a really good way to mark yourself. I also made one at the
Yes.
last NEDMA event.
Ashley made an awesome Snapchat that I repurposed because you can save them,
Yep.
correct? And I used it as a tweet and pinned it. I liked it so much. And
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
she did a NEDMA geofilter.
Yeah, it was
And-
a hand holding an iPhone, and it was made to look like a tweet, and it was my picture. Well, actually, it was a cartoon version of my picture with my name, and it just said learning a lot of new tips and tricks at NEDMA 16.
It was awesome. And it's another great example of cross sharing
Yep.
to other channels. So don't think, everything that you do on Snapchat is going to disappear. You can
Yeah, you can
repurpose
save
it.
anything. And the great part too about geofilters is that day, since they do cost money, but they're so minimal. I think that day I spent $5 on that one, because you can select a time frame and you draw a fence around the area that you want to be available.
Oh.
So I only selected Bentley because I didn't need anyone else to see it. And I think it cost me $5. It was great, but it lets you put your name into it, so you can put your business name. So for example, I was showing Bob this that day. When you slide through the filters and mine popped up, it would say sponsored by Ashley Briscoe
For $5.
for $5. So they're pretty awesome, really cost effective. You just have to have someone who can graphic design, and I happen to know that someone over there can do graphic design. So. All right, and then the last one. I don't know if you all heard about this. Microsoft recently acquired LinkedIn in this crazy deal, $26.2 billion with a B dollars. So what does this mean for us? I don't know yet. LinkedIn necessarily hasn't changed anything yet, but I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of changes in the coming months. With Microsoft acquiring it, I think it's just more of them trying to get into the social space. So I'd be really interested to see what they're going to do with that. If you guys have any wild guesses on what's going to happen?
I've heard rumors that part of why they're interested is the kind of HR hiring side, of course. But the other thing is they have a thing called Dynamics, which
Yep.
is not well known as a CRM system like Salesforce and HubSpot has that they
Yep.
went out. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna try and push, the Office Suite and Dynamics to get that to come up, which if
Wouldn't
they do
surprise
it
me.
wrong, will piss off
Yep.
professionals on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So they pay big.
Yeah, it was funny. The day that this happened, I saw a lot of posts that were like, look at this crazy thing that happened. I wonder how this is going to ruin it for us. So everyone is kind of speculating, like, what are they possibly going to do to make us not like LinkedIn anymore? So yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Now, how do you use LinkedIn? Do you use it much?
I do. I share a lot of my blog posts on LinkedIn, Pulse, I believe it's called. Networking. When I was looking for a new job, I used it a lot for that. Yeah.
Thanks, Ashley. Awesome.
Do you have any